What's going on, y'all? You're back. I'm your host, Paco. You're listening to Occupy the Media. Again, I want to thank you if you're tuning in. We had some people asking earlier if they could catch the show later if they missed it or missed the beginning. I'm going to try to get up on YouTube as soon as possible, probably sometime tonight. I got to make a run to the airport, but hopefully get it up tonight. But those of you who don't know, if you go to ronpaulradio.com and you scroll down to the bottom, we have a podcast that captures all of our episodes. So if you want to put it up or you want to download it, you should be able to get it there minutes after the show is done. Now, also a reminder, at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, Steve and I should be over at ronpaultribune.com. He'll be taking more questions. If you go to ronpaultribune.com, scroll down, click on the voice chat, and you can join us. And also, I just found out tomorrow on the show we will have the Fish sisters, Quadosha Fish and Zaria Fish, that was Ustreaming in Oklahoma yesterday and at the outside convention. They will be on the line with us tomorrow to talk about that. And we'll also have candidate Bruce Ray Riggs running for U.S. House of Representatives in Florida in the 5th Congressional District. It looks like he'll be on with us as well, so stay tuned for that. Okay, and Steve, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, there's a posting that was just put up here about 20 minutes ago from Ben Swan on his Facebook page. Yohan just sent it to me, so I want to read it to you and then get your feedback on it.
Okay.
This is to the Massachusetts RNC delegates. Do not sign any affidavit. I posted last night a letter that has gone out reportedly to Massachusetts delegates requiring that they sign an affidavit stating that they will vote for Romney at the RNC or risk the pain and penalty of perjury. This is a very serious issue. Massachusetts delegates need not take this lightly. I was emailed these quotes by Allison Wright. These are comments by Jerry Davis at Lawyers for Ron Paul. 1, it is illegal to force anyone to vote any certain way, period. 2, all of the binding is under civil constitutional law, verifiable, illegal. 3, we are not even going the Rule 38 route. Any means of manipulating a vote, whether by proxy or by unit, is illegal. And 4, the RNC's use of these rules in their very nature are illegal, but no one has brought this to the table yet. Vote any certain way, period. All of the binding is under civil constitutional law, verifiable, illegal. And I can give you the link on the chat if you want to look at it, Steve, while you're...
Yeah, I can. I mean, I don't know what he's talking about as far as civil constitutional law, though. I mean, and I'm not going to argue with the guy, but we're not talking about an election here. And see, this is where I think people get confused. This is a private party. This is a private organization that is attempting to put someone on the ballot for the Republican Party for president. We're not having an election here. This is not an official state election. And I think this is where some people get confused. Now, again, I'm not an attorney, so I'm not going to contradict what the guy said. I'm going to have to research it now. I'm going to have to do more work, and I hope to God he's right, because we've been going over this Ben Swan stuff for 2 weeks, and people are still asking about it.
Yeah. Well, I put the link up there if you wanted to click on that and check it out for yourself. But, yeah, that was over on Ben Swan's Facebook page. Again, if you guys are tuning in and listening, we do have about 2 more segments left with Steve. And if you have any more questions, and you're not going to be able to make it with us at 6 p.m., please post them up here in the chat. So, Steve, we can go back over some of the things you already talked about, unless there's something you think we've missed. I think I've ran through the questions that we've had jotted down.
Well, I want to address real quick the penalty of perjury. You know, they're not the U.S. court system. Again, this is a private party, folks. You know, you can't go to jail for this, so I don't even know why they're using under penalty of perjury to even try to enforce anything. It's really kind of comical. But again, I don't know what the state bylaws in Massachusetts state as to how they can bind their delegates. Now, see, it may be that they can abstain or they can break party rule, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to scare the delegates, into voting a certain way. Now, this is where the attorney was absolutely correct, that you cannot force anyone to vote a particular way, because that would be enforcing the unit rule, which is a violation of Rule 38. But I'll let them deal with all that stuff. Let's just move on and talk about what we need to talk about to educate these people on the delegate process.
Well, please, Steve, you have the floor. What do you think we should jump into next?
I think that, one of the questions that comes up when I talk to people, other than I thought Ron Paul dropped out of the race, was, and then when I explained to them no, they said, well, why is he even bothering? Romney is the nominee. How could Ron Paul possibly win? And I want everybody to understand here that, this is what I taught 4 years ago, is that the primary, for the most part, is really nothing but a straw poll. It's to test to see which way the wind is blowing, okay? It really doesn't matter. It's the delegates that decide who the nominee is, and that's at the Republican National Convention. Okay, that's the only time that someone becomes the nominee for the Republican Party. This is also why the media and the RNC use the word presumptive nominee. Otherwise, they would be saying actual nominee, or Romney is the nominee. Right. These things are absolutely not true, which is why they have to use the word presumptive, because it's presumed he's going to get 1,144. So here's the main goal. This is what we absolutely have to do. You folks have got to get to your state conventions or your district conventions if you're still having those. We have to show up in numbers. If we don't have the numbers, we can't win. Georgia was a prime example that we did not have the numbers. And I'm actually going to go over that. Remind me to do this, Puck. I want to talk about what we watched last night on that video and how we made a huge mistake to get a resolution put into the Republican Party of Georgia.
Yeah, next segment we'll go over that. We got a few more minutes till the break.
All right, where was I? I lost my place.
I know it's so much information going on. Let me see if we got any other questions.
Oh, that's how the nominee. So our goal should absolutely be to get as many delegates as possible and to attempt at all costs to make sure Mitt Romney does not get 1,144 votes on that first ballot. If Romney gets 1,144 on the first ballot, it's over. So we've got to stop him from obtaining 1,144 delegates. Otherwise, Romney will become the nominee. And, who knows what they'll do with Ron Paul. They'll probably, try to ship him to Mars or something because it's like he doesn't exist anyway now. But here's what I can tell you. It's getting harder and harder to ignore what's going on. If any of you have been watching the news lately, MSNBC, Fox News, they're starting to pick up on it. They're starting to talk about it. You know why? Because they have to. They can no longer ignore the fact on what's taking place around the country. People are fed up, okay? And they're going to take back this Republican Party and reshape it into the conservative constitutional party that it used to be at one particular point in time. And what also is interesting is when you hear that the Ron Paul people are using arcane rules. Well, for those of you that don't know what arcane means, it means very secret or only available to a select few. Those rules are available to anybody in the United States of America. They're not arcane, so to even use that word is ludicrous. Then I hear them saying things, Ron Paul people are using stealth strategies or that they're using maneuvers to take over the party. Well, we're not doing anything in a devious way, folks. We're walking right through the front door and saying, you know what, we've had enough. We're taking this party back, and we're taking this country back. We're not running. We're not hiding. We're coming right at you so you can see the whites of our eyes.
That's right. And with that, we're going to get headed to the break. I'm Paco, your host. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
I'm Gary Johnson, former governor of New Mexico. Last year, my state became the 12th state to allow medical use of marijuana by patients who are seriously ill. Some people were surprised that a Republican governor supports medical marijuana, but I'm hardly alone. Groups like the American College of Physicians, American Nurses Association, and American Public Health Association have all acknowledged the medical value of marijuana. New research about medical marijuana is coming out almost every day, showing remarkable potential in all sorts of serious conditions, including cancer, AIDS, and chronic pain. But some in government still want to put politics and ideology ahead of public health. To learn more about medical marijuana and what you can do to help, contact the Marijuana Policy Project at 1-877-JOIN-MPP or visit them on the web at mpp.org. Thanks.
Should you be able to earn an honest living free from senseless government interference? The Institute for Justice thinks so. That's why we've spent years defending hard-working men and women from pointless government regulations that make their